Hi, sweet friend. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Volta. I'm the artist behind Color Snack. And in today's video, we'll be painting a watercolor Snapdragon. So this is a continuation of my Texas Wildflowers series. A quick reminder that making art of any kind and regardless of your skill level or experience is beneficial to your mental health. So I hope you approach these tutorials with an open mind as a way to just experiment and play with colors and just have fun inside of your sketchbook. Hi sweet friend, welcome to my channel and another tutorial on watercolor wildflowers. So today I wanted to paint, actually one of my sweet community members, one of my sweet friends requested a Snapdragon. So if you're new to this series, I am really into wildflowers lately. So I'm always looking for pretty wildflowers to paint. And someone requested a Snapdragon. And if you take a look at an actual photo of a Snapdragon, the flowers are pretty complex and a little bit intimidating. So I kind of played around with some different techniques of like how I could paint this flower in a way that's fun and not super complex or even frustrating. And I have a couple of ways that I wanted to show you. So I painted this in a sketchbook, but before we get started with the actual tutorial, I want to do a couple of brush strokes. So basically practicing a couple of the floral elements on a piece of paper first. So let's see, for the Snapdragon, from what I've seen in photos, the colors are kind of like magenta. There's some reds and oranges and pinks. So I'm just kind of like mixing a few of these together in my palette. And I'm gonna use brush size number 6. It's a round brush. So let's see, one of the first ways that I try to paint this flower, like the little elements, the floral pieces, is kind of taking this almost like a bell with a bow approach. So I'm pressing down like, as if I'm painting like a little, kind of look at it as a little bow. And then the bottom portion is like a little bell shape, but it's got like wavy lines. So kind of something like this. And this kind of resembles those flowers a little bit. And then another way, so let's see, we can practice it again. So kind of, pressing down with your brush. And the beauty of these flowers is that, it's organic, so if it doesn't have to look precisely. We're not doing a botanical illustration, so try to remove that pressure from here, because the point of this whole painting experience is to just enjoy the journey. So let's see, another way that you could depict them is having like a few kind of like you're pressing down using the entirety of the brush and doing this motion. So that kind of gives you like a little floral element. Let's see, I'm gonna grab a little bit of orange here just so have some variety. Another way is to maybe do something like, a brush stroke like this, and then a little wavy line here. So that could be like the side of it, like you're not looking, this is like from the side of the flower. So my best advice here is just to kind of like have fun with mark making. So you'll see I'm holding my brush kind of towards the top, which makes it, you don't have as much, it becomes a little bit more loose that way. So your brush marks become more playful. So if you're having a hard time kind of, maybe you're like, oh, this is not perfect enough, or just kind of use this approach to help you with making those kind of more floral elements. And you'll notice that in my sample here, I have all kinds of like variety of brush marks. and they all come up to a point where, you know, together they make up the Snapdragon, and that's my own interpretation of it. And I want to encourage you to kind of disassociate from what the photo that you're seeing and trying to capture the colors, like some of the main shapes, not necessarily get lost in the details. So you'll see even here, the first approach I had, these florals were a little bit different. So let me show you. These would be more like, kind of like have the 4-petal type of situation. And then like you have a little bit of yellow in the center. So I grab some yellow. I'll do another one. So just kind of like having these petals, or like from the side, you know, you're just gonna have like 2, and you can't see the yellow portion. So that's kind of like the basis of the Snapdragon floral elements. And then towards the top, you know, we're gonna kind of decrease the width and just have a few little kind of like, they almost look like little hearts, you know, if you think about it. Like it resembles a heart shape, but we're just pressing down and kind of using the brush to create these. All right, so now that we've practiced some of these little floral elements, I'm gonna go ahead and start painting. I am using a sketchbook today, so I just wanna do another spread, and I wanna show you my process of how I try to just keep it playful and loose, just kind of just having fun, more so capturing the feel of it, like I mentioned. And I'm gonna mix in a couple of colors here. So I got some oranges and pinks and reds, magentas, just kind of like have a little mix of everything. Let's see, so I'm gonna get started kind of towards the bottom, and I might do like a variety of these. So I'll try a couple of these bell shaped with the little bow. So let's see if I'm gonna kind of start with a little bow situation, and then the little bell, curvy line. I'm gonna add maybe a touch more water because I want this to have like a variety in values. So the more water you add into your mix, the lighter the color will appear. So I'm just adding like just a couple of various shapes here. Not overthinking it too much, maybe a touch more orange. And then some of these, the more I go towards the top, so I'm just doing kind of like side views of those flowers instead of like a full-on center view of it. And then towards the top here, just have a couple of brush marks. And then let's see, the Snapdragon flower has kind of like a pointy top version. So I'm just gonna do the stem here, and then it has little parts. And also I think it's kind of fun to see how these flowers, or the green, kind of bleeds into some of these petals a little bit. There we go. And see, I'm gonna paint one that's maybe a little bit smaller. So I'm just gonna do a few little floral shapes here. I say smaller, but then it's kind of becoming large as well. So then a little bit of green. It has a pretty tall green portion of the flower at the top, so that's why I'm adding so much from the photos that I've seen. Let's see, I'm gonna do one that's more orangey. Maybe I'll do this approach of the 4 petals here, 4 petals that meet. And then maybe a little bit more pink kind of towards the top. Just remember to have fun, because as long as like you're enjoying the process of playing, and treat this as an experiment, you know, see like what kind of brush mark you like to make, like how detailed you want to get with it. I just recommend keeping it super playful and kind of loosen that way. So now I'm gonna try to see, I'm gonna compare it to my previous, let's see where, yeah, so that's, I like how I had more pinks here, so it's kind of more of a variety. So let's see, I can always go in with a little bit more orange and then the pink. So you can also drop some of the, you know, if you have a like too much of one color and you want to add a little bit more variety, you can always kind of drop in a color on top. And then let's see, I got some pink. That's a little too dark. And let's see, maybe I'm gonna add a couple of leaves here at the bottom just to kind of give it some base. And these are just like really very random marks for leaves, not exact, don't recall what the leaves look exactly for the Snapdragon, but it's okay. This is just, you know, we're having fun here. And I also like try to make your florals like curve a little bit too, because I think that adds like a really interesting element. Because, you know, if you're doing another piece, you could have them be a frame. That would be really cool and fun looking. So yeah, just experiment. See, like one last thing I think I want to do here, I'm gonna add a couple of splatters just for fun. Really like to keep it playful, totally optional. If this doesn't appeal to you, you don't have to do it, but I like to have fun with it. Thank you so much for watching, sweet friend. I hope to see you in my next video. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please be sure to subscribe, and I hope you stay calm and creative.